What's good, guys? It's Ray J back with another video, and this one I'm going to be breaking down what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvidia, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers, and break down what's happening to the market thus far, and give you guys a very quick trade idea on SPY that could end up playing out. But before I break anything down, let me just mention a couple of things. I am personally not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you are guaranteed up to 6 free stocks. If you deposit $500, you're guaranteed 20 free stocks with 6 months of level 2 data, and putting in $25,000 or more guarantees you 70 free stocks plus 12 months of level 2 data. This is a very good offer for trading or investing if you're interested in the level 2 data, and the offer ends in just about 11 days. Anyways, let's talk about what's going on with SPY, Tesla, and these tickers. Let's first talk about Tesla. I had this drawn out from yesterday. I showed you guys the two possibilities on Tesla. I told you we might see a little pop and drop in the chart. I also mentioned this in the morning. And I told you that we might see a test later on, very close to where our green trend line happens to be. And we might see Tesla either bounce and hold up, or we could see Tesla break. And then if it did break, that's when I would turn bearish. As of right now, Tesla did test this green trend line, or it came very close to doing so, and it held support quite nicely. So even though Tesla is holding up, I just want to mention that I think that we might get another pop and drop on the chart. We might retest the green trend line again. I'm saying this because of what I see happening for the markets and also because of Tesla. So I'll be breaking down Tesla in just a minute. Let me talk about SPY and a potential trade idea that could work out, even though I'm not giving financial advice. So what do I see for SPY? I just want to call out something very important. In my video from yesterday, I mentioned that we had a head and shoulders like structure developing, which led to this sell-off. But in order for us to get confirmation to the downside, for us to turn into bigger bears, we need to see a follow-through move down. We need to hold and close below the orange trend line. We actually technically closed like just added. We didn't close below it once I like zoom out and stuff. So what happened was we went temporarily below our support. This is this orange trend line, which is our support, and then we ended up bouncing right off of it. We ended up pushing back above it, and now we're back into the bullish phase. However, I just want to call out that I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm extremely bullish from this level because we got a big bounce back to our supply zone. So, what could I tell you about the chart? I would say one thing, and that is we tend to get these rejections sometimes in the 458s. So, right here at 458.5 ish, we got rejected. Then, right here was 459.5, we rejected. 460, we rejected. Right here, it was like 459, we rejected. And I'm starting to think that there's a potential shorting opportunity here. Not saying that I'm shorting, not going to tell you to do it. It's your choice. But let me just mention that we have a tendency of getting rejected at the 458s, also between 459 and 460. So if I were to short here, just hypothetically, right? Not financial advice, not saying you have to do it. If I were to do it, what I would do is I would look at a very good entry point. So I think like right here, 459 was a good entry point. Maybe we go a little higher tomorrow depending on the data, but in this range, this could be a good shorting opportunity. And what I would do is I would set a stop just above 460. That's like where you should set a stop, if anything, just to be safe. You could also adjust it depending on what you want. You could make it a little lower, a little higher. So set a stop just above like 460. You could do like 460.5 or even 461, depending on your risk tolerance. Uh, and then what I would do is if I were to take the trade like this, then I would basically just give my options about a little over a week at least. Give them at least a week. Don't just like short for one day. And then I would basically target SPY to come back down by next week. Maybe not tomorrow, but by next week. Back to the orange trend line, back down to 455 if we get the rejection. I also want to mention that looking at SPY on the 4-hour time frame, we happen to have this 50 EMA at 455. So this is a very good opportunity, a good target to take profits. So will this play out? I don't know for sure, guys, because this is why I'm talking about how um, when you're day trading, you have to be prepared for every single play to fail potentially. You have to be prepared just to be safe. And if it does push, like for example, having a stop will save you just in case it keeps going and something unexpected happens, right? You want your stop to be just above that 460 area. And I personally think that between 459 and 460, there's a good chance that this thing is going to reject and come right back down. We're going to see SPY start kind of like sinking. Not crashing. This isn't like a crash, just like a very healthy drop. Just like how we got this drop here, we got this drop here, back to the orange trend line, back to the orange trend line. I think we might get a retest of that level by next week. Okay, so Could we pump more with all the data coming out tomorrow? Before the market opens, we have payroll data, not to mention the unemployment rate. I'll be talking more about that later, but just want to mention that the market could pop more and then drop. I think that there's going to be a drop coming, but it's not going to be a crash. It's just going to be a healthy little pullback, and then we'll see how we end up reacting to this demand zone. All right. So with that being said, I think that this is going to affect Tesla. That's not financial advice, guys. It's just like an idea I just wanted to share with you. I'm not going to do it all the time, just once in a while, but I feel good today, so I'll just help you guys out. As far as Tesla goes, we could see Tesla pop again back up to 244, maybe even 242, but then it might reject and come back down to retest this trend line. We could see a retracement by either early next week, if not tomorrow, by the end of the day. I don't know about tomorrow, but by early next week, I would say sounds more reasonable. A retracement back to 238, and we'll see if this holds. If Tesla loses this support, it could actually turn a bit more bearish, but it could also try to bounce off of it. So we'll be watching to see if we bounce off the green trend line or not during this 238 test. But I think a pop and drop is coming on Tesla, and I'm going to be watching for that as well. For the QQQ, I think something very similar is going to happen. Not financial advice, guys, but I think that the QQQ has this supply at 391 and also at 393. These are the two levels to watch for. If we reject off 391, watch it come back down to at least 388 by next week, or even below that. If we break above 391, watch for 393, then a rejection. This is very tricky, guys, so just be very careful when it comes to trying to predict this. Um, but I do want to mention that there's likely going to be a rejection at these levels because we tend to see the QQQ reject either at 391 or very close to 393. So, with that being said, we could see a rejection. It could come back down to our demand zone, and it could just make a very, very healthy little pullback. But it's not a crash, not a huge pullback. I'm just talking about coming back down to these levels we saw in our range. So, I just want to be as clear as possible. Make sure you watch for a move like this. Is this a shorting opportunity? Sure, but it's up to you to decide if you want to answer, if you want to like take a certain trade or not. I'm not giving any financial advice, and hopefully this brings more value to you guys. For Nvidia, I just want to mention that Nvidia is looking quite not the best. I would say it did get a nice push up. I was talking about how if we broke this resistance 460, we could push up a little higher, but we're at this rejection area, which is around this 465 area. We could push higher for like 468, then reject, or just reject from here. Either way, I see it popping and dropping or just dropping back down. We have a gap to fill down below, and I think that Nvidia has some downside coming. Could we push a little bit more depending on the data tomorrow? Yes, but whether it pushes back up to like 470 rejects or if it just rejects off 465, I see a rejection coming. I think that that's going to be very probable for Nvidia. For Apple, it's looking relatively strong, but I think there's a rejection coming too. Not saying it's going to crash, guys, not calling it crash. Either it rejects off 195, we get one more push up and rejects, it comes back down to 192.5. That's going to be my target. Or I see it pushing a little higher. It could go all the way up to like between 196 to 197, depending on tomorrow's data and the information that comes out for Apple, the news, and etc. One more push could come and then it ends up getting the rejection. I'm not sure if we're going to get one more push and a drop or if we just drop from here, but I see it eventually coming back down to like the 192s over the next week or so. So I see some opportunity in playing it right over here. All right, guys, so that's it for the video. Hopefully, this video was helpful for you guys. Please remember, I'm not giving any financial advice. I just talked about a hypothetical opportunity that I saw if I were to take a trade. And if you want, do whatever you want to do. Please remember to remain calm, cool, and collected. And please, 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 please don't forget that the market is very tricky. I am not a mega bull or a mega bear. I've said this many times. I know some people are kind of like misinterpreting what I said. I said that if you want to be really bearish on Spire Tesla, you need to see support break and we need to see a follow through move, right? If you want to be bullish, you want to see it break resistance. I'm not turning bull or turning bear or anything like that. I'm simply just going to be looking at the charts for opportunities. I'm not super bearish unless we break this like orange trend line. We just continue to sink below it and we close below it like 2 days in a row. I'm not going to be super bullish unless we manage to continue to break out of 460 and we just keep closing above it. Just want to make that as clear as possible. I'm not giving financial advice. I'm also not siding heavily with just one side. I just want to read the chart in front of me and then talk about supply and demand and levels to watch for. All right. So thank you again, guys. Make sure you watch your levels. Be prepared for what I'm warning you guys about for the market going into tomorrow. And with that being said, have an absolutely spectacular rest of the day. Thank you and peace out.